touch away. Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Welcome to all our viewers. You're watching BQ Conversations, and I have a very special guest with me today. We've got Mr. Alok Tandon. He's the CEO at Inox Leisure. Mr. Tandon, thanks very much for joining in.
Thank you for having me on the show.
It's the start of the new year. Big bang releases is what we are expecting in the pipeline, and that means that much more business for you. How have you envisaged this year to shape up for you?
Well, let me start by wishing you and everybody a very, very happy and a blockbuster new year. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, how we are looking at 2019 is some new blockbuster hits, some new stars coming up, new stories, new movies, and most importantly, new customers.
Yeah.
So that's what our focus is. I think the 2019 should be a very exciting year for all of us. A couple of things for that. Number one, that we ourselves as a company have thought that, again, we should rededicate ourselves and refocus on the customer experience. To ensure that he's got more experience and more fun out of every square foot of ours. That's how we are looking at it. And with the lineup for 2019, I think so that we will not be disappointing our guests. And also with the pipeline of openings we have, the formats which we are introducing.
Right.
So things should be great in 2019.
Right. In terms of, the number of blockbusters, we've seen on a comparative basis, the number of movies now hitting the 100 crore club.
Yeah.
They've increased dramatically from single digits to now you've got almost 15 to 16 movies a year that have made
Absolutely.
it into that category. So that works well for an exhibitor like yourself.
Well, I would say yes. The advantage is that number one is the 100 crore club. If I'm not mistaken, and don't hold me to it, I think so there were 12 or 13 movies in the last calendar year which clocked 100 crores or more. And there were 2 movies which did more than 300 crores.
Right.
So that's one which is a good sign. The other thing is there are lots of movies which have done between 50 to 100 crores. Right. And those also add to the entire pool and the entire revenue. Apart from having 6 or 7 blockbuster weekends in a year, I would say there are other smaller movies which give us a lot of occupancy on weekends which do not have blockbuster movies. And I would say that last year was quite good where all this was concerned. We had some new genres coming up. We had some new directors making fantastic movies. And especially the star cast in some of the movies was fantastic, and they really pulled in the crowds.
Right. And, since you spoke about the point of occupancies, going by past numbers that you have in terms of the occupancy numbers, you see that improving? Do you see there has been enough demand coming in? Because you've got other digital platforms now. The audience has become that much more wanting of good quality content. And if they're paying prices like 200, 300 per ticket, they want to come in and make sure that it's worth their time.
Sure, absolutely. I would say that occupancy is a function of the content. And looking at last year where the content was good, and this year, whatever the pipeline of the movies is, we feel that the content should be really, really good. So 2019-20 should be a very exciting year for the entire movie industry. There are big budget movies, there are small budget movies, there are movies which I've come to know have got some great stories in it, and the way they've been shot, directed. So all that will add to the entire pulling out people or decouching them from their homes and coming to watch a movie in a cinema hall. You
don't consider the digital movement as a threat, right?
Well, remember one thing, that there's always a time lag between the movie hits a screen and it comes on a digital platform. And all the true connoisseurs of a movie have already seen it in a hall. Number two, the content which we see today in a digital platform is different than that what is shown on a screen. Today there are web series made only for particular platforms. It's a different type of content which is consumed on alternate platform. Yes, there are movies also, but that's after they have lived their life on a giant screen.
Right. Let's talk about Inox in particular, and what are the plans for growth, not just in terms of expanding the number of screens, but to focus on improvement of realizations per screen.
Well, let me tell you, as of today when we speak, we have got 546 screens in 67 cities. And as I always say that we have been on a growing phase since we opened our very first screen in 2002. Going forward, we've got a slate of about 850 screens which are already signed. And these are backed by signed agreements which we have.
Okay.
Going forward, we are looking at various formats. We are looking at the insignia properties where we are standing in as of now. We are looking at a club class. We are looking at a kids. We were the first in Mumbai to open one theatre which is only for kids and where the kids movie run for all the shows, all 7 days a week. Hence, we are experimenting with various formats, and what we have seen that it's done well over a period of time.
Okay.
Even when our focus, yeah.
I want to stop you there. So while these formats are definitely for the experience,
Right.
you know, they necessarily are not the big revenue garner for you because your screen size is smaller,
Right.
your experience is that much more premium, so you have only that limited class of people that you can target. So how would you balance out the two between catering to this niche as well as getting your mass audience on?
Well, I would say that most of the screens are normal screens which you have with an ample leg space, comfortable seats, and these are regular screens which we call. But a part of it, part of the 546 screens are also these special format screens. You talked about how do we get in more revenues, how we get more realization. Well, if you know that there are 3 types of revenue streams in a cinema hall. One is the box office, F&B, and third is advertising. And our focus is on every single one of them. How to increase our occupancy, how to increase our conversions, how to have more people buying food, what type of food can we sell, what is the variety, and similarly for advertising, how do we go and meet a media planner, how do we tell them that yes, we can advertise your product on the screen as well as in the lobby which we have so that a patron can feel, touch or see the product which he saw on the screen. Mm-hmm. So we are focusing on all these 3 verticals of a revenue stream. And if you see our results quarter on quarter have improved, whether it's the footfalls, whether it is the advertising revenue per screen or the F&B spend per head.
Right. So obviously, while the main revenue stream, that is your net box office collections,
Right.
that depends on the content of the movie and how the audience takes to the movie. But the other 2 factors that you mentioned, the ad revenues and the food and beverages segment, that is something that's in your control, which you can actually start to drive in your favor. Have you seen trends changing with the audience towards food and beverages after the recent, whole controversy around the expensive food and beverages in movie theaters and multiplexes?
Well, let me not even talk about the controversy which was there because that's a thing of the past as of now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we have done in Inox to improve our F&B spends, to have more variety. So over a period of time, we have increased our food menu. We have got a master chef, Vicky Ratnani, who's with us, and he's curated our entire refuel and our insignia menu. Today, we keep on having different combos, innovative combos, so that it's always exciting for a person to come and buy food. To give you a classical example, during Christmas, we had what's called a Christmas menu which was out. So salads like a Santa on diet, or a mistletoe pizza, or let's say a penne, which was we call it a very merry penne pasta.
So this is only for Insignia brand, or because when you talk about these kind of dishes,
right.
it looks like a dish that a regular moviegoer may not consume while watching a movie.
Well, I think so.
I mean, a regular Coke and popcorn.
Well, that's also there. That's also there, but things have changed now. Things have changed, and people want exotic food. And this we do in all the parts of the country, in all our cinema halls, where we may not have had a Santa on diet salad, but something else to compensate for that. But yes, there was a Christmas menu which was rolled out all across the country. Right. And today, the tastes of our audiences is changing. They want more stuff, they need more food. Yes, a Coke, popcorn, samosas, sandwiches, they are staple diets. Right. So they'll never go out of a movie watcher's habit of coming, picking it up and eating it during the movie. But then we have seen that our pastas, our double-baked khichdi, our biryanis, they do amazingly well.
Yeah, but are you seeing pricing, the need to bring down pricing?
Well, if you see, everywhere where we price ourselves is as per the cost structure of the property and the paying propensity. I don't think personally that we have overpriced or we have outpriced the paying propensity of the people. So whichever Inox you go to, whether it's the food or the ticket, there's a very rational and a scientific decision behind the entire pricing strategy.
Okay, so how has it affected spending per head? Do you see them not getting too affected even if the pricing on the menu for food and beverages is slightly steep?
Well, I don't think that it's slightly steep. It's as per the, as I said, the cost structure of the property, the paying propensity, what all the ingredients we use, where it is manufactured, the food, or where it's cooked, the ingredients which go inside that. So all that is a component when we decide the pricing. Right. And we have seen over a period of time our spend per head increasing. Not because the pricing going up, but because of various ways we sell the food now. Today we have various point of sales. We just do not want to have a concession counter where people come, stand in a queue to pick it up. Those days are passé. Today we want to have where the guest is standing, the point of sale should be there. So whether it's your app on your phone, which is just in your pocket, you can book or order food while sitting in the cinema hall or sitting on your seat or standing in the lobby through the app. Or we have got what's called fast bite kiosks in our cinemas. So you need not go to the concession counter, just go to that monitor, press in a few things, choose your food, pay by card and pick it up your food. So we are trying to have various point of sales. We are also trying to tell a guest to buy, I'm not using the word more food, but what will go with a particular type of food. So just to complement it and to increase his experience while watching the movie.
And that's translating into the spends going up accordingly.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's right.
Okay, that's on the food and beverage side. You spoke about your ad revenues.
Right.
Are you seeing any sort of a change in terms of the amount of spending in terms of ads that's coming your way?
Oh, well, it is. If you see our results, which we take out every quarter, the average revenue per screen for advertising has increased over the period of time. We still see there's a lot of headroom and things will only get better. And I would say that we have done it with a complete focus and that too, I would say, great work by advertising and sales team who have gone to corporates, who've gone to various companies, ensured that we sit with the planners over there, ask their needs, what is their need, and then design the way the ad has to be shown with those people together. As I just mentioned, if it's an on-screen ad, how can I show the product in my lobby? How can I ensure that people touch it, feel it, see it, so that the entire advertising pie increases and people relate to that particular product.
Are you in the position to increase these rates?
Well,
are you looking at
rates
that?
keep on changing. It's not the same rate throughout the year. Rates depend on which movie is coming, whether it's a blockbuster period, whether it's a festival period, what is the demand for that particular movie, and hence rates are very, very dynamic. Okay. But yes, just to answer your question in one word, we keep on increasing our rates every year for sure.
Okay. Just one question before we move forward. And this is keeping in mind these three segments, which is your net box office collections, your F&B, and your ad rates. Can we go by your growth numbers, the past growth numbers, and assume in a way that this is where we are headed?
Well, I would say that's my endeavor. The entire company is working towards it, that we show growth year on year. And yes, I'm not a crystal ball gazer, which I always say, but then the endeavor of the entire company
going by the historical performance,
is that
you extrapolate
we have to do well, and we have to ensure that on every parameter, we beat the last quarter, and Y-on-Y and Q-on-Q results are better than the previous ones.
All right. So Alok, let's talk a little bit more about what the plan ahead is in terms of expanding the number of screens, the locations that you're in. I believe currently you have some 118 or 113 properties and 33 properties, 133 properties, 540 screens. So what's the plan now?
Well, as I just said that we are only growing, and with 134 properties and 546 screens as we speak, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We have more than 850 screens which are already signed, and you'll see them coming up in the next couple of years.
Okay.
For us, expansion is pan-India. We are a pan-India player. We are not region-centric, and anywhere we will get a good opportunity, where we feel that people would come to this theatre and there is chances of growing in that particular city, we will be there, and we are there as of now. For us, it's important to be in all the tiers, whether it's tier 1 or tier 4. Because for us Indians, watching a movie is in our DNA. We love to watch movies. We love to go out with the family and friends and enjoy that evening out.
Right.
And that's has been the psyche of every Indian, and that will continue to be. Having said this, it's important for us to ensure that the property we make is aspirational for that particular person. And hence, wherever we go, we try to make it better than the best which is over there, and ensure that because of our technology, our service, and the comfort we give to our patron,
Right.
People keep on coming back to us.
Right. So when you're talking about expanding screens to about 850, you've categorized yourself. You've got different experiences. You've got the insignia experience. You've got your regular screens where you have your mass audiences coming in. So where is the focus going to be now in terms of what kind of screens you're looking to hone? Because your occupancy rates and the other factorials will depend accordingly.
Well, again, it depends on where we are. Whether does that location need an insignia or not? Does it require a kids theatre? Does it require a 4D? So all that we do a survey before we even plan to put those formats on the drawing board itself. And that will keep on changing from city to city, and even within a city, from a plex to plex.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a few formats that we'll carry all across India, but what will fit in where depends on the location.
So with these formats, these are niche formats which cater to a certain class of people. When you look at it from a revenue point of view, do you see the returns on capital employed for this sort of a format matching up?
Absolutely, yes. See, before we even think of having a format, we do a complete study of it. We look at the payback, the IRRs, the investment which is required, and only once we are sure that, yes, this will add to the bottom line of the company, that we do it. And all the formats we have added till now have proved us right, and we will continue with those.
Okay. Let's, any particular region right now where you feel you're underpenetrated?
Oh, well, I would say India itself is underpenetrated. We have 8 screens per million population, and if I look at multiplexes, it's only about 2.5 to 3 screens per million population, which is nothing. So forget about Inox. We are expanding, and we will continue to expand. I feel the entire country is underscreened.
Yeah.
And it's very important for us to ensure that the screen penetration increases, and the people who are crazy about movies in India get an option to watch a movie close to their house.
Okay. So South as a region, how important is it? Because it's obviously a strong area.
Absolutely.
And competition is making inroads there. So what's your plan?
Well, South, yes, is a very important market for us also. Today, out of 546, if I'm not mistaken, we will be having about 125 to 130 screens down south. And we have signed quite a few over there. So as we expand all over the country, the importance is out also. And there also we have a good number of screens which are in the pipeline and will be opening soon.
So funding of these screens, I mean, you've already spoken about a preferential allotment to Gujarat Fluoro. Are you comfortable?
We are very comfortable. We've got a very, very strong balance sheet, and the funding is from internal accruals. And going forward also that will continue. there are very few companies who've got such a strong balance sheet with the growth they have shown, and Inox is one of them, and that will only continue to get better.
Your debt is not as much.
It's hardly anything.
Yeah, but you still say that you want to get rid of it completely.
A part of it has already been taken care of. It's not there anymore. And whatever it is, it's a paltry amount. It's a very small amount. And we have got, as I just said, a very robust and a strong balance sheet to continue with our growth momentum.
All right. And your expansion plans.
Absolutely.
Through the years. Let's talk about, you said you're going to be focusing on from tier 1 till tier 4.
Right.
With the coming off of GST now, do you see more traction in tier 2, tier 3 cities?
Well, I would say that that's a great move by the government of India, and we thank them for that, for reducing the GST. We'd been requesting the government since quite some time that the taxation should come down, and they have done it. I would say yes, it'll really benefit the entire industry. There'll be more growth. The ticket prices have reduced, and we have passed on the entire benefit to our customers across the country. And it's a matter of time before we'll see actual expansion and growth in the hinterlands of India. And this is just the beginning.
Which cities are you focusing?
Oh, well, we are focusing everywhere. So today, let me tell you, for every Nariman point, we have got a Siliguri. For a Delhi property, we have got, let's say, a Kurnool or a Vijayanagaram. So for us, we are focusing on any city which will give us good footfalls and where we feel that the potential to build a multiplex exists.
Currently, where's the maximum traction? Which it's your Bombay, Delhi, your tier 1?
Well, tier 1 surely gives us a high ATP. The average ticket price is higher. The occupancy is also good. But when I talk about occupancies, pan-India, because movie is such a thing, whether you see Simba in Bombay or in any part of the country, people would like to see it, and hence the attraction of the pull is there. So occupancy, pan-India, I would say, has been the same for whether it's a tier 1 or a tier 4.
All right. It doesn't matter what ticket price.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
it's only the average ticket price which changes from property to property.
Okay, got that. Before I wrap up this interview, Alok, anything that you want your shareholders to know that, Inox Leisure is doing this particular thing that is going to increase shareholder value multifold?
Well, the effort is there to increase it. And what we've always done and we've always talked about is the technology which we have. How important technology is to us at Inox Leisure. We've been leaders throughout. We were the first people to go all digital in 2012. We were the first chain to have a network operations center in Mumbai, which controlled all our screens. Again, the first company to have all laserplex cinemas, or having laser projectors in every screen of a particular property. Having a food app inbuilt into the Inox app. So I would say the list of firsts is endless. And yes, in the new year, as I said, that we have to refocus on a lot of things.
But the shareholder is looking for something else.
Oh, well, everything will go up because of that. So whether it's technology, whether it is more revenues from food, whether it's more revenues from advertising, or the occupancy is going up. So all that will lead to what you are saying that shareholders are looking up to.
It was a great conversation. Thank you so much, Alok, for joining
us
on Bloomberg. And thank you so much.
Bye-bye.